Well, hello everybody. We're going to be looking at our official 2022-23 winter forecast for our upcoming season. We will be looking at what to expect in terms of everything and look at models a little bit more. This is probably my final update to the winter forecast for this year, but we could potentially be seeing an extreme winter ahead, and there could be plenty of snow for many areas, which we will get to in a moment. We're going to break down which areas will likely be seeing the most snow and so on. So we're going to get to that today. So buckle up, guys. It's going to be a heck of a ride. So one of the major factors in what we're going to be seeing with the weather this upcoming winter is going to be the La Nina we're going to be expecting for the winter. However, we do see some improvement in the temperature anomalies later on, as we do see that heading into the spring. So we'll see that mainly in March, April, May, we'll start to see those come out of La Nina, and then signs are pointing to the summer potentially having an El Nino even if these trends do continue into the summer months. And I wouldn't be surprised if, in fact, we do with a few models suggesting the possibility of El Nino during the summer of 2023, which could potentially linger into the following winter after that. Now, we're going to be focused on this winter, though. This is about the time where this winter falls, and we're mostly expecting La Nina conditions throughout, although the strength of La Nina will be weakening later in the winter, and then will eventually come out of La Nina during the spring. And that's clearly shown here. So we're going to be looking at the middle months as though that's the actual month. So yeah, if this is JFM, we're going to call it February 2023. We even NDJ, we're going to call it summer of 2022. So, yeah, summer, we're going to be still dealing with that. It'll be March. We'll start to potentially come out of that La Nina we've been having for like 2 years now, actually, if you haven't been paying attention. But it'll start to come to the normal temperature range, I'd say about April or May, and possibly into El Nino, maybe even June or July. But of course, we're probably looking at above normal sea temperatures. Again, that El Nino potential cannot be ruled out after this winter ends. But focus on the fact we'll be dealing with the La Nina, and we'll go over what we'll typically expect with La Nina winters. So what do we expect with this upcoming La Nina? Well, of course, we're going to look at that. So we're going to usually be seeing wetter than normal conditions across the Ohio Valley and surrounding regions. And then cooler air would usually spread to the northern plains, that is, cooler than normal. And then along the southern interior of the United States, we do see normally dry conditions, along with that warmer than normal cold conditions as well. So while warm and dry will probably be expected this winter, but also wetter than normal across the Pacific Northwest. So while it's not looking too good in terms of drought for the South, we'll be seeing wetter or slash cooler normal conditions across the northern half of the country, and even snowier probably in fact for much of that area as well. Now we're going to be heading into our first official winter outlook, which we've all been waiting for quite a while now. So before we digest any further, let's take a little look at the models here. So December, it looks like overall most of the country should be warm. Maybe some normal temperatures beginning to spread in from the Arctic into the northern plains at this point. This model seems to really bring in all that cold air into much of the eastern United States, January and even February across the northern tier. March things might even warm up once again, but we'll see those lingering cold conditions, possibly some Arctic outbreaks in the northern tier of the United States, even into March. Let's say overall warmer than normal conditions should be expected across the southern United States for the most part during the winter. And we'll look at that in our own custom outlooks later on. But we'll also take a little glance at the precipitation before we do get into our own official precipitation forecast. So, consistent with the La Nina guidance, we do see drier normal conditions expected across the United States, although that could change later on, at least across portions southeast. Later in the winter, it looks like here the CFS showing is and the majority of the U.S. having wetter than normal conditions, at least during February. January, it's a little drier overall, especially across the southern half of the United States. We could potentially see some wetter areas as soon as December, even January during the winter. But we could see that continue to linger on. But then again, models can and will change. But I'm likely not going to do any more updates on the winter forecast for this season. This is probably my final one, in fact. We do see something interesting going on here, and not surprisingly, drier and warmer than normal fine across the half of the United States based on model and linear guidance. But Southeast could see a change later in the winter, though, as models have been very consistently pointing that out, and I probably do think that's going to happen eventually at some given point. So finally, moving on to our official forecasts here. So we'll be looking at cool normal temperatures across much of the northern tier, especially across the upper Midwest Great Lakes where that higher confidence signal is. More normal conditions across much of the southern United States, especially across southeast and the southwest, with lower anomalies in between across Texas surrounding areas. But that's more due to lower confidence than anything else. Now we move on to our precipitation outlook, with dry normal conditions likely across the southern United States. Highest confidence signals include Florida and the southwest, wetter than normal conditions expected across the northwest and the Midwest and Great Lakes regions. That is at least according to our outlook. We are not 100% sure on anything that we're talking about in today's video, but this is a little prediction. Now, for our snow anomaly map, we'll be looking at snow the normal conditions across the northern half of the country, especially in Washington, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and other areas in the Great Lakes. So yeah, that also, the warmer / dry conditions combined should lead to below normal snowfall in the southern United States once again. This is consistent of the La Nina and everything else that we're going to be seeing this winter. That leads us to our overall winter forecast. So we're going to go west-east with this and work our way there. Radical conditions could be expected in the Pacific Northwest this winter due to the expectations of a wetter, possibly cooler than normal winter. Even some above normal snowfall could be expected across much of this region as well. Warm and dry expected across southwest, but the highest anomalies could be seen across California, especially Southern California, and others of the desert southwest. That dry as normal winter conditions is spreading across the Gulf Coast, even Florida especially. But then in our mixture bag, that could mean a whole lot of winter precipitation, such as even especially a frequent target for ice storms. And we could even see some snow and rain throughout the winter with storm systems that do happen to come by across this region. And then for our colder masses here, when we're looking at snowy, occasionally frigid in the areas that occasionally but not as frequently as, say, up here in the pink region, see those polar vortexes moving in from Canada. And that's going to be the source of our cold outbreaks that we will be likely seeing throughout the winter, especially later on though. But again, frequently going to be seeing snow across the purple, especially pink regions, but also some occasional frigid air should the polar vortexes spread further south, sometimes as well. And yeah, especially seeing this across northern plains, up in Midwest Great Lakes regions, going to be seeing some very frequent Arctic air. So that means a good amount of nights going to be dipping below zero throughout the winter, and some heavy snowstorms here and there. And that would should lead to above normal snowfall and below normal temperatures. In the southeast here, we're going to be seeing some improvement in the precipitation later on during the winter, as we've been talking about here. So it'll be dry early, but we'll see those precipitation anomalies get better and better overall, more positive later on this winter. So that means more rainfall, possibly in some cases snowfall, should there be more southern snow systems later this winter. Now, we could see the occasional nor'easter along the northeast coast, and that is certainly a possibility we've been seeing here across for the last several winters, and we'll probably see that again, basically with the La Nina pattern going on again, especially along that northeastern coast, which could mean blizzards possible, some heavy snowfall, and of course cold air coming in as well, especially from those polar vortex again coming from the south, more likely to impact northern plains up in the Midwest, New England regions, even some spreading into Midwest, Ohio Valley regions, and it could even be further south than that during the strongest cold episodes. So, guys, that was it for today's forecast. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is the final one for the entire winter. So yeah, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and like if you do it. But if you do enjoy our winter forecast for today, and hopefully we probably won't be 100% accurate, but of course this is a prediction, and no, it's technically not official. You should go look at Climate Prediction Center and anything with the NOAA for official forecasts. Even though we technically use the term official, it really isn't. So yeah, stay safe everyone, have a good day.